Hello friends, I'm Gina. Welcome to Hope and Cope, where we talk about how to live our best life by God's grace in spite of the painful and tragic choices of people that we love. So today I am talking about steps 4 through 6 in the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, or in my case it was Al-Anon, which is a group for families and friends of those that are alcoholic. So last week we talked about steps 1 through 3, and today we're going to talk about 4 through 6. So step 4 is we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So right off the bat, that might sound pretty intimidating, but I just want to say that we're not trying to find fault in ourselves. We're not trying to just take blame for everything that's ever happened in our lives, for everything that's ever hurt us. Everything that's ever hurt us is not necessarily our fault. We're just looking for our part, if we played a part, and we're also looking for our part in the resentment. So why are we holding a resentment? And then learning why, and working the steps of the 4th step, which there is a process. It is in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It will walk you through the various steps, which I'm not going to get into detail. But working that 4th step helps us to be relieved of victimization, victim mentality. It helps us to realize where our role is, whether it was in the actual wound or in the resentment that we carry. And when we can recognize our part, then that empowers us to either not continue to fall into that same trap, or it empowers us to have the ability to not allow things to hurt us the way they have hurt us in the past. So try not to look at the 4th step as a way to beat yourself up, because so many times those of us, especially that are the friends and family of people that have a drug or alcohol problem, we tend to be very easily prone to blame ourselves. That's not what this is for. This is so that we can clear the clutter from the past, and so we can take authority over our own life and our own choices and our own actions, and be more aware of where we participate in the negative things that go on. So step 5 is that we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. So this is a biggie. You do that 4th step inventory. If you get yourself a big book, you can read it. I think it's on page 64 is where the 4th step starts. And then on step 5, we admit these flaws. I know I just said we're not looking for our flaws, but you're going to find flaws. When you do the 4th step, you're going to find flaws in your character. You're going to find weaknesses that you can improve upon. And so we're going to admit these to God. We're going to admit these to ourselves. And we're going to admit these to another person. Now, we definitely want to make sure that person is a very, very trusted confidant that we can share these innermost feelings with, and we'll be safe. You definitely don't want to share them with someone that can't keep their mouth shut. I don't know a nicer way to say that. But in sharing, you tell it to God. You admit your faults. You admit them to yourself. It is helpful to admit them to ourselves. And then you admit them to another person. This is very helpful in the process of solidifying that we recognize our role that we play in this process. So then step 6 is that we're entirely ready to have God remove all of these defects of character. So I know that's a biggie, and that step 6 may take a while. I just wanted to say a couple things about it. We all need to realize that there's room for improvement in everyone. I know that it's hard when we know we've been wounded offended by someone else, especially if they are that alcoholic or that drug addict, or it's different people in different situations. Maybe you're in a completely different situation. You have maybe someone in your life that is very controlling, or they have power over you in some way, a boss, some kind of authority. I don't really know, but I know it's very hard to say, I don't want to look at my part at all, because their part is so much worse, because the things they have done to me are so much worse. I just want to encourage you to recognize that we can all improve, and that it is very helpful to recognize our part, because then we can prevent being a part of that dance. We can hopefully avoid getting into the circumstances altogether that create the pain in the first place. So it's not, it doesn't let us off the hook just because someone else is worse. It will always benefit you and me and our families if we bring our very best self to every situation, and to not say, well, I'm not going to take the high road because that person has such a low road. That doesn't help the situation. If you're here because you want help, then we need to be open-minded to what is our role, what part do we play, how do we make matters worse, and what can we do to improve it. So it's always helpful to want God to remove all of these defects of character. That is going to be so helpful in your life. So as last week, I have attached 3 verses, 1 for each step, and 3 songs that to me kind of speak to each step in the description below. I hope they are helpful. Hopefully you'll check those out. Also, if you haven't seen last week's or the last time on the first 3 steps, if you will watch that would be very helpful, I'm sure, in this process. And next time we'll go over steps 7 through 9. So I hope you're doing well. I hope these videos help you. If they do, please like them. Please share them. Please comment. And I want you to know I'm always praying for you guys, and I want you to have your best life. Thanks. Bye.